in 2024, I read 62 books, 22,826 pages. My shortest book was 12 by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I don't read novellas, but that's like the only novella I think I've ever read. It was 144 pages, and my longest was Gods and Monsters, 624. I know it's January 21st, but I want to make this. I don't care if it's late. I have stuff to do. My average book length was 368 pages. My most shelved book was The Silent Patient. 4 million. I didn't know it was that big. I don't own all my books. I'm on my Goodreads. The first book I read was You Will Be Mine, which is literally right here. Natasha Preston writes the best thrillers, in my opinion. Well, quick, easy to read thrillers. They're really fun. Yeah, it's the first book I read. I don't know what I rated it. Oh, I rated it a 5-star. I would say maybe a 4.5 or like a 4, maybe a 4. And I don't own this. It was for a class. You can't even see it. The Port Chicago 50. Oh. It was for class. I think it's really interesting. It's about, I'm really bad at explaining this. It's about this group of African American soldiers in World War II. I guess they weren't soldiers because that was a thing people are hesitant about, because there was still lots of racism. There still is racism, obviously, but it was really bad, even worse than it is now. They were basically doing work that white people didn't want to do, basically. And then they were accused, well, not accused, I actually don't remember, of mutiny, which is where it comes in the title, because the title is The Port Chicago 50, Disaster, Mutiny, and the Fight for Civil Rights. So that kind of gives you what you need to know. I'm really bad at talking about this. I read this so long ago. I do remember it, but I also don't, if that makes sense. This is still January, and I have to go back. And then 5 for 5, I don't own it. I read it at my school. Holly Jackson Never Misses. I rated that a 5. Looking back, 3.75 probably, because my ratings change over time. I'm really free with my ratings. February, I think I read like 1 book in February, or maybe that was March. The one book I read, you've probably seen everywhere. It took me forever, but the series itself is really good. The first book is not the best book. I think the cover is so pretty. I was so obsessed with the cover. I just didn't want to stop taking it to school for some reason. It's kind of dirty. It's pencil marks, because I used to just throw pencils in my backpack like some maniac. It took me a month. Probably shouldn't have taken me that long, but it did. I think I rated it a 4, which I think would hold true. And you'll never believe what's next. From March, first thing you find March. I read 5 books in March. So January I read 3, February 1, and now I'm on to March. The first book I read was, the first 2 books I read were The Wicked King and then Queen of Nothing. I would never read a book. Back then I would not read 1 book of a series and then not read the other ones right away. I think I've changed my ways, but I want to go back to that because it made it better to read. Great books. I rated them both 5, but apparently actually between The Wicked King and The Queen of Nothing, I read Shatter Me. And at the time, I did not own Shatter Me, but now I do. Shatter Me. I'll put it in here. It's gonna bother me that it's not with the rest of the series, but I rated Shatter Me 5. I'm very frequent. Oh. Well, everything I rated was 5 stars in March. That's not holding true. Wicked King 4.5, Queen of Nothing 5, and then this 3.5. The series just got better as it went on. Next, you've seen all these everywhere, honestly. The Inheritance Games, and then The Halford Legacy. I don't know what happened in which book. I just know I love the books. The series just blends together, but it's a really good series, and I'm really excited because I just bought The Brothers Hawthorne, and I've heard it's actually horrible, but it's fine. I'm still gonna read it. I love the characters, so I rated them 5 stars. Keep this at 5 stars. 4. In April, I read 4 books, which once again, it's The Final Gambit, which Eve really got on my nerves, which really put the book down for me. That's hard. When I read a book, if a character really gets on my nerves, it's hard for me to read. So I read that. First, finished off the series. Oh, it's a little crooked. And who cares? Next, I love this series. Caraval. So, I would like to say, I am Tell the Dragon's #1 hater, which is why this was my favorite book in the series. Because Legendary, you know, it was all from Tella's perspective. I don't like Tella. I hated that. Why? I like Tella in the short time she is in Once Upon a Broken Heart. She's fine there. But I hated her. She was so irresponsible, I feel like, in this. And then that just led me to hate her. I rated Caraval a 5. That holds true. And then lastly, Final or Finale, I don't know. Final. I should actually learn. I'm not that good at that. I don't know the difference. Well, I do. But I don't. Why did I whisper that? I rated this a 4. Probably would keep that the same, although I did like that we did get Scarlett's perspective, and it was a good book. I also love the covers. Like, these are the prettiest covers ever. And I'm gonna move on to May, because that's what comes after April. First, for April, I read Powerless, which it's, now that at the time I hadn't read Red Queen, but it is very similar to Red Queen, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. And it's still a really good book, and I do recommend it. I know not everyone likes Powerless, like the first book, but I personally think the second book is amazing, which I'll get to that later on. I didn't read it right away when it came out, but I did read it this year. Powerless. I think I rated it a 5, and I would keep it at a 5, I think. Maybe a 4.5? 4.5. Yeah. Next, Girl in Pieces. First I read Girl in Pieces, which rated a 5, which probably bring it down to a 4.5, but it was really good. Very generous with my ratings. Then, How to Make Friends with the Dark, which I did like, but I also didn't like it as much, so I'd probably bring it down to like a 3.5, and I rated it a 4. So, it's fine, I guess. It's sad. All her books make me cry, all of Kathleen Glasgow's. And then You'd Be Home Now also made me cry. 5 stars, keeping it there. No, I'm not saying anymore. And these next books, I remember binging. The Natural series. I binged these maybe Memorial Day weekend, because I had 4 days off. I read 1 a day. And man, I miss reading these. They're so fun to read and easy to read. And they're all pretty short. I think it was like 300 something pages. I think they maybe went to 350-ish pages each, but still really good. And I think I rated like each of them a 5. No, all of it, all in, I rated a 5. So Naturals put as a 5. I'm also going to keep all these ratings. So, yeah. Killer Instinct 5. All in, I rated a 4. I'm going to keep it there. And Bad Blood, oh my gosh, I love this so much. And it looks thicker, but that's because it has a novella, which brings me to my next book, which was 12. 12 was boring. I'm going to say 3. I have it as a 4 on my Goodreads, but I would say a 4 for 12, but a 5 for Bad Blood, because 12 is in here, like somewhere around here. Oh, I haven't taken the Target sticker off, or the only at Target exclusive thing. Once again, it's Natasha Preston. I love her. I'm currently reading The Party, which came out in December, but I finally got it like last weekend or something from Barnes & Noble, because I spent like $100 at Barnes & Noble. Don't even question me, I'm broke now. Now that looks better. So there's another book, The Dare. would recommend any of her books, really. I mean, they could be sensitive for people, like The Cellar would definitely be very sensitive. I mean, it's a thriller, it's gonna have violence and gore, but The Cellar's kind of extra. And that's it for May. There was 10 reads in May. That's not 10, this is 10. And I think I named them all. Yeah, this is like the most books still that I've read in a month, although I did read 10 in July. Just, why do I keep on putting up 10 in July? Why do I keep on putting up 5? Next, June. June was an interesting month. I felt sick a lot, but I still read a lot. First 3 books I read were a struggle. No, the first 2 weren't a struggle, but the last one was a struggle. It's a trilogy. I don't remember much from it. It's a good trilogy. It's just, I don't know. Something about witches. Serpent and Dove. I think I rated it a 5. I don't remember anything, so I'm gonna do a 3.5, I guess. And then Blood and Honey. I also don't remember anything. I'm gonna do 3.5. No, I probably put Serpent and Dove at 4 and then this at 3.5. I think. I mean, I like the covers, and then Gods and Monsters. This was excessively long, and I think it was actually in Blood and Honey when, like, I remember my favorite character dying and being really mad. I barely even remember the main character's names. I think her name was Louise something, LeBlanc. Maybe I do remember it. But Gods and Monsters took me forever. I had to listen to the Tortured Poets from Anthology twice to get through it. I read the last 200 pages while listening to that because it's like a chiller album. So I'm not gonna say chiller again. That's a regret. Oh, and then next, I don't own it. It's The Good Girls. I remember being so obsessed with it and saying it was a 5-star read. I don't remember anything. I remember a cheerleader. That's it. I remember a sauna. That's also. So there's all I remember. See it? Wait, what are my tabs that are open? That could be interesting. Oh, it's just new tab. Anyways, The Good Girls by Claire Eliza Bartlett. I don't remember anything, but I just remember the experience. And I remember I knew it was a 5. I even, in my review of it, went as far to say 6-star, ? It's very niche. That's all I remember. No, why am I saying that all the time? I remember it was very niche. There was cheerleaders in a sauna. That's all I remember. The average rating is a 3.71, which would probably be true. I rated it a 5. So, if that says anything, I don't know. Rating it a 3.71. Just go with the average because it's kind of average. No. Once again, a book right here. Also, didn't read this year. I read it last year. In 2023. Read it. The Good Girls Guide to Murder Trilogy. Read it. Oh no, I hate the Netflix stickers. This one has the 5 Survive sticker. These have Netflix stickers. Don't like it. I can't remove them. I don't like it. But the reason I bring up those books is because I have another Holly Jackson book, The Reappearance of Rachel Price, which you've also probably seen. Like all of these books you've probably seen. If you're watching my video, you've probably seen it. I also, like, I remember things. It's just hard. Like, I think the main character's name was Val and her mom, disappeared like 15 years before, I believe. And she was there's like a documentary. This whole thing. It's really good. Read it for the experience. Just do it. And read every Holly Jackson book and that's just how you have to do it. I don't know what to say. Starting a new stack. So the last 3 books I binged, and then they sort of got me into reading some. I read the Selection main trilogy. These were really good. They're really fun. They feel homey, I guess. I don't know. It's very comforting in a way. So Selection, The Elite, and The One. I recommend these, but I do not really recommend the last 2 books in the series. I mean, you can read them, but they were kind of boring to me, and I only finished one of them, and I was stuck on the other one for 2 weeks, and it's like 250 pages or something like that. I had to stop because I had to I DNF'd it, and I don't DNF things. That was my first like DNF. I had to do a deep clean of my phone storage. Got rid of like 30 apps and 80 videos. I'm gonna do more later, but I just want to finish this. 5 stars. I would say 4, and then no, 3 and then 4. They're good books. They're easy to read. I read all 3 of them in 2 days. And that brings me to June already. No, to July. I was just in June. I read 10 books in July. A lot of them were while I was on vacation, because I was reading like every day. On vacation, I read like a book a day for the beginning, and then a book every 2 days, basically. And I got caught up on a book, which that is not fun. The first book I read was before vacation, and it was The Air. Didn't like it. And then next is The Summer I Turned Pretty, which, oh, I have it up here. Okay. Oh, Summer I Turned Pretty. It's a basic trilogy. It was easy to read. I read the first one in like 2.5 hours. Oh, I don't know where I went to. My Duplicates? Anyways, I rated the first one at 4, which is, no, not Amazon. Sorry, technical difficulties. I don't know. So I read The Summer I Turned Pretty, 4 stars, rated. And then It's Not Summer Without You, 5, which I think so. No, 4.5. That's what I'm gonna say. And then We'll Always Have Summer, 3, because that made me mad. If you know about Cabo, you know what I mean. I have like the old covers. I didn't want to. What I ordered had the pretty covers, you know? Like at these. Which, I mean, they're still pretty. I just don't like people on covers. The Summer of Broken Rules, which, first of all, the cover is so pretty, but it was also really well written. And I rated a 5, which I would also say it's a 5. It's my favorite. I think it might be my second favorite romance I've read, because I read one on January 1st. I read Better Than the Movies, and that's my favorite. I highly recommend. It was a really nice thing to read just in my room when we were on vacation, because, yeah, I felt sick though. When I was on vacation, I felt sick all the time. It was not fun. Another book, vacation book, which I should have mentioned, Summer I Turned Pretty's vacation book. Those are all 3 were vacation books. And then same with The Summer I Turned, not The Summer I Turned Pretty, The Summer of Broken Rules. Then next bought this on vacation, Don't Let the Cold In. I think it was a really fun, not fun, that's probably not the word I should be using for like a thriller. I rated it a 5. Next book, this is one that some people hate, some people love. I found it boring the first, I don't remember, 300 pages were really boring, and it heightened up, and then tragedy. That's all I gotta say. You can see my fingerprints, which is not a great look for me. If you had been with me, it's romance, kind of. It is a romance, sad romance, I guess. Guess I'd recommend it, maybe. If I don't like it. I rated it 4 stars. I would say 3 would be decent for it. Next, I think this is like a Jack the Ripper inspired thriller. It's really tiny, and also it's also easy to read, but the main character's name was hard to pronounce for me. I didn't realize how you're supposed to say her name for the longest time. It's Niamh, but it's Niamh. From what I understand, it's relatively common. Obviously not where I'm from. I'm from Wisconsin in the United States, and not common at all. I've never seen that in person. So thriller, would recommend. Next 2 books I don't have. First one is Together We Rot, which I'm gonna try to show you. Although, wait, they don't have a picture. They don't have a big picture. Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah, like, binged it. The next 2 I binged. This I think was 2 hours. No, 3 hours, 4 hours. I don't know how I did it. I think it was 4 hours. Yeah, so the horror. There's like cult things. So I'm gonna say another Natasha Pressman book. I also don't own this, although I want to. I'm working on building my collection of her books. And I think right now I have 7. But maybe 7. Well, I do own another one, but it's kind of beaten up, so it's just in my closet over there. Although you can't see all the way over there. Maybe you can, actually. It's in my closet, so you can't see it anyway, but... Oh, there's my wall hanging. Give me your thoughts on it. I made it in August. I think I actually finished it in September, but it was really good. Fun. The Lost. Made me cry, and it probably shouldn't have. August would be the next month. I can't think of the order of the month, apparently. This is interesting. Okay, I'm gonna put this down. No. I think I rated Till You Have 3 Raw, both, and The Lost 5 stars each. And then, Shatter Me. This is the Shatter Me series next. You've probably seen this everywhere, so I know I'm talking. Now I read Unravel Me, Ignite Me, which I did not like Unravel Me at all. I rated it 3 stars, which I guess I'd say would hold true, maybe 2.5 even. I liked Ignite Me. Not that much though. I really like the cover. I really like the covers, like the eyes. I think I rated it 4, which I would say is true, and then Restore Me also a 4. The books also kind of blend together. Define Me and Imagine Me both 5 stars, which, yeah. Although, Kenji kind of saved the first, few of the books in the middle there. Kenji's my favorite character. Dead Girls Can't Tell Secrets by Chelsea Achoso. I think I butchered that. It's fine. I rated it 4 stars, which I would say 3.5. Ashley, because the second book of this series put me in a slump. Shatter Me. I read that in like 2 days or 3 days. I liked it, I guess. It's kind of boring. And I was in a reading slump with Siege and Storm. I read like half of it and I just couldn't continue. And so that brings me to September, and this is where my reading really slows, because school slows my reading. The first book I read, have to find it. Did not like it very much. Lightlark. I do have Nightbane. Haven't read it though. I like it. It's a braid edged book. Yeah. Lightlark. I rated it 3 stars, and it took me a week to read. I don't remember much because I couldn't focus on it. I wasn't into it. I'll probably try it again before I read Nightbane because I don't remember like anything. I just remember that there's rulers of these secrets that went to an island, and that's it. I don't even remember the ending. Next, I have The Silent Patient, which also maybe don't remember much. I rated it 5 stars though. I'd say a 4, personally. Reckless. One of my favorite books of the year. I like Powerless. I just recommend you read it, and I'm not really going to say anything else. I'm really excited for Fearless this year. My most anticipated book of the year. Although there really aren't any anticipated books for me. There's the Hunger Games book, Sunrise on the Reaping, which I'm excited for. I've read a ton of April Henry books. I don't own any, but she's releasing a new book this year, and I think I'm going to read it. Now, that brings me to October, which had 1 read. Children of Blood and Bone. I really like The Edges. I do have the second book. I haven't read it yet. I rated it 5 stars, but I'd say a 4.5. It was really good. I don't also remember that much about it, which is a slight issue. That's my 1 read of October. Kind of put me in a slump, but it was still good. November, I had 4 reads, not 5 for the first one. Really liked. Had to find it though. Six of Crows. I love this duology. I'm so glad I finally read it, because I bought it in like the beginning of August. I think I bought it at the end of July and then arrived in August. But really recommend it. Hate the Netflix sticker, but can't really do anything about that. Rated at 5, which is gonna hold true. There's the Half-Blood by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which I like The Edges once again. I'm really obsessed with these, but it really wasn't that good or interesting. Rated a 3. I would probably put it as a 2 or 2.5. And then next, I don't own the next 2. Yours from the Tower is the next one by Sally Nichols. Can't really say for sure. I read it on an audiobook during Thanksgiving break because I was crocheting a cardigan. And I wanted to read, but I couldn't read. So the next one is 5 Feet Apart by Rachel Lippincott. It's a movie that I really enjoyed a few years back. And I hadn't read the book because I didn't realize it was a book until like a couple years ago. And I read the book, liked it. Although I did skip the part where a certain character whose name starts with P died. I did skip that part because I didn't want to go through that again. Sorry. Lastly, it's December. The first book. Oh my gosh, it's such a good book. Crooked Kingdom, which is also one of my favorite reads of the year. It's really thick, but it's also really good. I rated it, how would I rate it? 4 stars. It's certainly a 5-star book. I don't know what was going through my mind. Next is some more really good books, probably my favorite reads like ever. Can't tell. I really like this book. I never do this, but I was like, hey, I never annotate, so I was like, hey, maybe I should try to tab it. And then this happened. Let me see if I can find a random tab and see what it is. Just 5 stars, also 5 stars. That's what I rated them, that's what's holding true. So put these down. I bought this back when I went to Colorado on vacation in July. I went to a Barnes & Noble for the first time when I was there in Colorado Springs. And I think I bought 3 books because I didn't have that much money. I spent like $39, but I bought The Lake. I rated it 3 stars, mostly because the ending made me really mad. The ending makes me so hurt. Endings make me so sad and mad and a bunch of emotions at the same time, but they're good endings, if that makes any sense. They're horrible but great. Last 2 books, which technically the first one was from November to December. It was like for a class. Actually, these last 2 were classes, but the narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass. If you don't know Frederick Douglass, you should read it. If you do know who Frederick Douglass is, you should read it. Anyway, you should read it. I don't care if you're from America or not from America, or, well, not from, if you're anyone, read it. It's really good to know. It's really good. It was very, I don't know if the book itself was crucial in the abolishment of slavery in the United States, but Frederick Douglass was really important, and I think it's really important to learn about him. It's kind of, there's some gore, so maybe not for like super young audiences, but I think when you're starting from like a middle school age, it would be good to read. Maybe 7th or 8th grade, maybe. And on beyond, it's good for any age in my opinion. And then lastly, another really good book. And Then There Were None, which I don't own these, but I also don't feel like showing you my thing anymore. I'm showing it. But And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, which is a really interesting thriller. I think I might read more Agatha Christie, maybe. I don't think she just writes thrillers. I think she writes other things too. Eventually, I probably will read more of her books, because this was a really good book. Basically, everyone dies, and that's all I'm going to tell you. It's kind of obvious if you read the poem that comes with the book. I rated it 5. We read it for class in like 2 weeks, and it was a really fun time. The class was kind of just to fill out our time between our unit that ended right after Thanksgiving break and Christmas break. Not Christmas break, winter break. Yeah. So my goal for 2025 is to read 50 books. If I reach 50, like halfway through the year, I'll go to 100. But I also don't know, because I'm going to be in like high school the last 4 months. And it's just probably not going to be a great time. I hope to get a job too. Yeah, hope to get a job. Also, you can follow me on Goodreads. It's, my account is just Mackenzie Grace. That's my name, minus my last name. Because I didn't want to put my last name on here, because I didn't feel like it. And now I sound like some basic millennial putting my middle name and my first name. Mackenzie Grace. I guess I'm gonna see y'all sometime.